A colorful mural was unveiled today in Wilsonville, celebrating the legacy of a pioneering advocate for people with disabilities. The Judy Center community mural was designed by artist Kyle Holbrook and painted with the help of young adults with various disabilities. It's located inside the Human Adult Transition Center in Wilsonville, which gives guidance and support to people with disabilities after they graduate high school. The center's namesake, Judy Human, is known as the mother of the disability rights movement. She served as a special advisor in the Obama administration from 2010 to 2017.
Beautiful mural, too.
Oh, yeah.
All right.